The story begins with the introduction of the main character, who at the age of 14 got his A-rank adventurer's license, and he was able to achieve it. And he also trained under a great swordsman and practiced magic with an ancient sage. He tried to do his best to train in swordsmanship as well as magic. The beginning of the story tells how the main character becomes a father. These events took place when he was appointed rank A. When he completed the assignment, he was on top of the inhabited volcano verified. Also, taking such a one-point mission was quite risky, but still our hero took it on. Although looking at the monsters that guarded the top, he exhaled and still realized that he had successfully conquered this peak. In addition, he planned to just complete the task and return, but suddenly he thought that he could bring some materials back to the guild. So he approached the monster that he had destroyed and suddenly felt disorderly footsteps. But as soon as he looked up, he immediately saw the volcano explode. I realized that it is definitely not a small wyvern. Suddenly, from the center of the volcano came out of the center of the volcano a monstrous monster that our hero, I did not understand what it was. For it was a giant monster made by hand with legs and table fangs, so he immediately realized that there was something sleeping near the volcano, for it was a monster ranked with an ancient dragon. The dragon immediately flew up, and the hero didn't realize that it couldn't be because he immediately saw that the direction of the dragon was exactly in the direction of the city under the volcano, and he immediately ran back to the city to get the dragon. But still he doubted if he would make it in time. And while he was running, suddenly a dragon appeared in front of him at that moment when he couldn't see what had happened. The only thing in front of him, he videoed a dragon that literally landed. It was quite large in size and very ferocious. The hero only watched in horror as it literally let out a ferocious roar. But suddenly the dragon took off again, and the hero immediately ran after it just as he had to hurry to succeed before the dragon penetrated. But as the only hero, I ran to the house. He immediately saw that all the buildings had been destroyed. And also the heroes who did not remain unchanged were whole inhabitants, but with such destruction there were very great doubts. The hero immediately began to look around for anyone, responding to the thought that perhaps someone had survived, and he hoped that more and more were fading away by the minute, depending on the calamities that the dragon had created. Could see the same thing was happening here as his despair filled him, and he immediately began to call out for someone to respond. But at that moment he began to realize that no one else understood how such a thing was possible, and that everyone was immediately destroyed, thinking that it was all on his shoulders, for if he had quickly defeated these loyalists, he would not have awakened the ancient dragon. Thinking of what he had ventured with a rank who was trained in swordsmanship, and who was trained by a sage, for he must have been gifted. Grabbing his hand on the ground, all he could think of was that it was all on his shoulders, and he just couldn't do anything. But suddenly behind his back he heard some sounds. Turned around, he didn't realize right away, but he abruptly got up on the ground and started running towards you in the direction where the sounds were supposedly coming from. He immediately saw the rubble running towards him. He realized that the noise was coming from under the rubble. He was only beautiful to whoever was inside to keep him alive, clearing the rubble. He wanted to get it out quickly. But what he saw shocked him very much to the point that he didn't realize what he was going to do next. In front of him were 3 little children who were just crying. Stretched out in his arms, he only thought that thank God they were all right, they're right. They were now perfectly safe, as he was sure that all were destroyed, but suddenly he began to realize that someone's life he could still save. Cradling his children, he decided to take responsibility and make them happy. Make a promise to himself, and the inhabitants he couldn't save from the dragon, thinking only of those children and realizing that he should have taken care of their upbringing. So he immediately swore on behalf of those he couldn't restore, making them concrete happy in this world. And after our hero returned, things changed. Some adventurers began to accuse him of destruction, and people who admired him began to talk behind his back. Behind his back, I whispered that it had to be said, and he was so smug just because he was a gifted adventurer of a rank after all. He had just set an entire village up for destruction. But also all those words were literally hurting our hero, and he couldn't agree with them. Realized that the deaths of all those people from the town were his fault. But looking at the children, he realized that now he had to do the right thing. So one of the girls, turning to the hero, interrogated, "Is it true that he's going to resign?" To which our hero, I replied that yes, for this city was destroyed by his vine, and he can no longer call himself an adventurer. That the girl immediately shouted indignantly that this was not true, turning to the hero, saying that it was not his fault that this had happened, because the ancient dragon is related to Rangus, and it didn't matter who he was or what he tried, he still wouldn't have defeated him. For rather, he was a life-saving hero, so the girl asked him again, please. But all the hero has decided for himself, said only thank you for that, he's glad to hear it, but he's made up his mind for himself that he wants to die with dead children. The girl heard the hero immediately and constantly said that she understood everything on that. As soon as the hero turned around again, the girl went to bow in front of him. For now, he is obliged to be the father of these 3 children because he promised the guests that he would be their father and give them a good life. And after he left the city, he decided to return to the city, but I am the city of Yuzuha. Since he decided to bring up these children just their away, and the excitement of the city. And on the same side, although they were surprised at his return instead of the children, the elders realized that his situation was undoubtedly such themselves, so they allowed him to stay in a small house on the edge of the city. That's how his life began with different children. And it was his first experience in raising children. The hero tried to teach them from the first years, but they found new reasons to worry as they fought a lot and were always resentful. But on the same side of the hero, it turned out that they were growing up very fast. And already after 10 years, the 3 girls he picked up a very long time ago were over 10 years old. Elsa was the oldest of the 3, and she is more talented than her peers. Since she is skillful with a sword, her abilities are superior to her peers. Her strength and clarity are completely on another level. But sometimes she didn't do well as she was not yet able to fight against our hero. I can easily defeat the girl before she gains enough experience. As soon as Elsa fell immediately, everyone realized that it seemed that the guy was finished. For just as her father expected the fact that she had put her best foot forward, she couldn't even land a punch. The hero immediately began to say that he has a long road ahead of him before his favorite daughter can achieve such results as it took him 27 years for his experience. And he also immediately told his daughter that this time he had traveled quite well. Her swordsmanship had improved greatly. After all, at this rate, maybe she would become even a better swordsman than he was. The girl's eyes immediately lit up when she heard that she could become a better swordsman because is it possible that she could become really better? To which our hero, I answered that, of course, because if she doesn't give up what she is doing now, he is sure that she can become even much better. Besides, he is very glad that she calls him father. How are things before? The girl was immediately very surprised. I don't understand what kind of situation she has to tell him. The girl immediately said that she can't call him that, as a swordsman shouldn't show any weakness in their life because that's the way of a swordsman. I didn't understand what kind of weakness we are talking about, because she says that she doesn't like soft words. To what the girl confirms, because yes, to call him other than father is a manifestation of softness, because even to eat such products as desserts is a manifestation of softness. But the hero, I have not yet understood what then is the embarrassment after all today's dessert. I'm no longer a cake, but he thinks that in a swordsman like her cannot eat something like that is not so, interrogated the girl's hero. Something immediately lit up in my eyes as soon as I heard what father said about pies. The girl immediately crossed her arms and said she could be a little soft today. The hero immediately thought this was very great news. But first he realized that they needed to buy the ingredients, asking the girl if she would go with him. The girl immediately held out her hands and said that of course she would go with him. The hero recalled that the girl always liked to play even in kindergarten, and it seemed as if she enjoyed at his sword practice, for she even always soothed the protagonist's restrained sword when she cried at night. And even when her childhood was left behind, her habits also remained, and she still sleeps together with the wooden sword as she used to sleep in her childhood. And already in the moment, while they went to get the ingredients for the pie, the girl immediately responded to the protagonist, to which he interrogated what happened. The girl also said that when she gets older, she wants to be an adventurer like her father. And even the dragon that her father couldn't defeat, the girl promised that she would defeat it at any cost. The hero realized that she looked happy now, but he didn't know the danger of being an adventurer yet. For the heroes, I realized that if the girl goes through what he went through in his past, he was unsure if she should follow in his footsteps, for he cannot dictate the girl's future, and she must decide for herself, for he was sure somehow she would surpass him and achieve her goals. And after a week, the events moved to the center of the city where the duel took place. And at some point, the girl standing with a sword heard the words that her rival surrenders, and it was decided that this year the winner was Elsa, the daughter of our hero. All began to discuss because it seems that his daughter is a real genius. Is not she who won last year's tournament? Interrogated one man from another because her strength is insane. Even if she would have fought against 100 people, most likely all would have ended the same way. Turn to the hero, say that his daughter is very cool, and she is a genius, with a sword after all. They were sure that this is due to his excellent training since she in last year won. At what our hero, I only thank the guys for such nice words. But the hero also pointed out that it's not because of him, it's because of her skills. The girl runs up to the hero, only I asked if he videoed her winning the tournament this year. Her eyes really sparkled and she was really happy. The heroes also happily replied that he certainly had seen, since her fencing skills were very magnificent, and it was the result of her hard training. But also the girl that he is still far away from her father, and she must work even harder, at which heroes I immediately said that she will definitely surpass him, and he is really looking forward to it. The girl immediately decided to ask if her father remembered his promise. Well, heroes, I replied that, of course. After all, if she wins the tournament, she can ask him any question she wants because that was his promise. The heroes asked the girl what she wanted to ask him, and at that moment she turned around and said it was a secret. Heroes, I thought it was cute, so he put his hand on her head and smiled at her. But also the girl asked again what they were having for dinner tonight. To which the hero I answered that he will make rabbit stew because she loves it very much. And also considering that this dinner is in honor of her victory, that she will be able to sit down more than one plate. The girl, as soon as she heard that she will be able to get more immediately, very much rejoiced. It was very good news for her and she was really happy to hear it. For she wanted the tournament to be every day, but then she could eat stew every day. And the hero smilingly said that he understood and knew that there would be those who would oppose her constantly. But suddenly while the heroes were talking to the girl and he immediately heard some sound, you know that the voice comes from the left side, asked Elsa to stay here and sit quietly, and that she in no way left until he returns. But the girl was the only one who asked, or rather didn't even ask. She said she would go too. After all, she's not a tournament champion and she can fight beside her father, so she asked that he let her go with him. But still the hero realized that he couldn't resist the girl's pressure, so he agreed. But the only thing was not his request, but even an order for her to stand behind him. To which the girl replied that she understood and would obey, so they immediately ran in the direction of the noise. And at the moment when they reached, they saw in front of them a monster that was in front of ordinary citizens, peaceful. The hero immediately asked the girl to help the others, and he will take care of the monster, but she was determined, saying no because she wants to fight beside him. And the hero at one point became literally face to face against the monster. But in front of the monster was not only the hero, I and the girl, who at some point apparently initially frightened. Hero saw this. I understand that Elsa was completely shocked as the monster at some point decided to attack. The hero realized that he had to hurry as soon as possible to avoid tragedy. And yet as expected, heroes managed to stand in front of the girl, and literally repel the attack of the monster already on the approach to her. The hero realized that the attack passed near his stomach and caused significant damage to him. On what the girl, as soon as she saw this, she was also frightened, even more responded to the hero, but he only told Elsa to stand behind him. For the hero, I would not let her get hurt in this battle. He got so angry that he literally lifted the big monster. And at one point, he straight up attacked so hard that it ended there once and for all. To that hero's, I did not resent the face, just raised his hand, and then turned around and started walking away from the monsters towards Elsa. Asked her if she was early, to which the girl immediately replied that no. But Elsa saw that her father was wounded. She immediately clenched her fist and said she was sorry. She thought that she had won the fencing tournament and could help. But it was not so. She immediately cried because apparently she was upset enough. But the hero smilingly put his hand on her voice and told her not to worry about it. But the hero, I immediately said that the first battle is always the most difficult, and she is still just beginning. And also I should have gained experience and gradually improve her skills, and in the future she will really be able to surpass our hero. The girl also addressed the hero, to which he kindly asked what she wanted to say. The girl immediately asked the hero if he was afraid of the monster. Heroes already said that of course they scare him, but some are even more terrible than he was able to defeat today because he remembered the dragon that destroyed the whole village. But he also realized that he must protect people, and this is his main task. The girl also asked about protecting the people, and the hero said that it was right. She heard that it was just like his daughter, and the villagers he also protects, all of them are very important to him, and she must fight for those who are very important to her. And this will give her even more strength so that she will not be afraid. The girl immediately understood what she was talking about, and understood what her father was saying about the people who were important to her, because she had such people as her friend, and her younger sisters, and her father. The heroes immediately said that she should dedicate her sword to them and she would overcome all her fears. The girl immediately wiped away 6 tears and said that she would do so. But the hero also realized that the conversation should end here, and that he should have dinner as her defeat would be an experience for her future. And here in the house, one of the tea girls realizes that Elsa and her father are late. Since the father is me, Elsa is late. Although the fencing tournament should be over now, perhaps Elsa should have won quickly, but I wondered if something had happened to them. But the girl also realized that if she was with her father, everything should be fine, so she didn't worry too much. The girl got up and started walking to the door and opened it. You see, she had to check out the mine, which is where she went. Meanwhile, the hero, I finished with the selection of food, because he realized that it should have been enough. And as soon as the hero finished, he immediately heard words from the guy who apologized for making him work after the battle with the monster, to which the hero, I only replied that he did not take it into his head, because he took care of his house when he was away, so he will let him return the favor. But the guy also remarked that hero, I had a very always strong sense of duty, and he understands and helps all the time with the village, especially as a guardian. Because of this, so the demons are less than they used to be, so this year's harvest will be bigger than they ever were, hero. I was really genuinely happy to hear that. But also the guy goes on to say that he heard he teaches swordsmanship to children. Because it's always nice to know how to use a sword, If something happens even for self-defense, and it's not necessary to become a guardian. And also, plus the children always come to his house and asks him to teach them. For it was quite splendid that he teaches them and truly cool. Since the first time he participated in a fencing tournament, he won absolutely without a single hit. Though all were over, if he hadn't been kicked out of the tournament for being too strong. Although in the end his strength is on another level because his arms are a bit strong, but if he carried all the ingredients at the same time, he would break his back. After all, as he expected from a former rank adventurer, and even though it was a long time ago, he is now just a retired adventurer. The guy immediately recounted the word retirement, saying that he had never heard of such a system among adventurers, and went on to say that if he returned to the capital, he could easily return to the ranks, and that many people I would meet him with hidden hands. The hero immediately replied that he could no longer return as he had Elsa and the others, but the boy wondered if he had told them the truth. But the heroes did not understand what the guy meant by telling the truth. Although Todd immediately explained because he means that he is not their father, and it is not hard to see since they do not have a mother hero. I immediately lowered his eyes and said that he has not said it yet. Although on the other hand, he was of course planning to tell everything when the time came, but there is always the possibility of keeping secrets. Although if you think about it a bit, if they find out that he's not their real father, I'd be extremely surprised at the girls, because he might risk it if he didn't tell them first. For hiding the truth, it's also kindness. In a way, hero, I told the guy right away that he's really right. Besides, if we talk, he changed the interior of the bar. For he changed it. After his daughter advised him, and not only the interior was changed, but the entrance was also different. For she also said that if he could see the interior from the street, then visitors would enter without any worry. So he did as she recommended, and since then there are more visitors than before. And it is all thanks to Anna. Moreover, she also said that she bought ingredients at a price above the market price, so she talked to the seller, and he was amazed at how good and easy Anna is to negotiate with a professional businessman. It was a very good sight when they both managed to make their point without getting angry with each other, and it was very admirable. And Anna is really great. She will definitely be talented in the future, no one even doubted it. And he had to have her on the temple account as long as it helps, and also Cecilia still loves money more than ever. Though build sororities, of course, everyone loves money, and it's just the kind of money they don't even give for a day's work. But then Elsa entered the room turning to her father. She said she was here to pick him up. Hero. I immediately apologized to Elsa that he made her come here to something, replied that he did not worry, because in the meantime she was practicing with the ball, so everything was fine. But then the hero immediately told the guy that if he needed help again, he should just tell him. The guy said that of course he would tell him because they had worked hard today and they would pass it on, not from him. The hero goes home with his daughter. I asked her if she had finished her training today. The girl immediately said yes, saying that lately she finishes by noon. So she thought about increasing the amount of training. But hero, I immediately said that she should not overdo it, as sometimes rest is also useful considering the last training she should rest 20 hours after. But then suddenly the situation changes. As the guy runs towards the hero, he turns around not realizing what is happening. For also the girl also did not understand why he is running away. Perhaps he was being chased by a monster. She immediately asked our hero to not let him get away, asking the father to please detain the guy and not let him break through. The guy only turned to the hero, yelled for him to get out of the way and let him pass. But the hero only said he couldn't do that because his daughter asked him to stop him and not let him pass. So in a moment, they came face to face. What actually I expected our hero, I was easily able to knock the kid down. And already a moment, the hero with the girl and left and looked at the guy who I was lying. He immediately asked why he was running away, because they did not understand what to do with him since he was drinking beer and skipping hours in the middle of work, so that she had to punish him a little. But the guy, only them, kept shouting that he could not do anything about it. After all, he can't breathe well in the mine and he needs to take a break outside now and then, but the girl immediately said that then he should take a break in the off hours. And she means that's why the working hours start from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 5 days a week. But the guy also kept shouting that they want to work when they want to work, and also go home when they want to go home too. But the girl pointed out that this would be inefficient because working when it's time to work, resting when it's time to rest is important for efficiency. Then he could make the same profit, but for 3 hours a day and 2 days a week he can't do that, so she doesn't sympathize since he is a complete monster. Alone on his own can do the job for 100 people without even feeling it. To which the girl asked him, is it really cool? After all, he should be at least like her father so he can at least complain a little, because otherwise he should work 8 hours a day and 5 days a week. But the boy only didn't understand what the child could know about their not working, for hadn't the mine's profits risen to a record level since the child went into the woods to do his work? The girl interrogated the boy. Also picked up on the fact that she is not going to quit her job, but she is afraid she will have to tell his boss and his wife. But boy, I immediately asked her to do anything but that. Since the boss, his wife, trusts him completely. If he tells everything, he will have no room both at work and at home. The girl also said that he should then start working without a toad. If he realized it, he should tell about it. For if he understood, he should return to work immediately. For if he did not, he would lose the precious answer of being here. The boy immediately mumbled something and turned abruptly, saying that he would work, and ran away. Although the girl thought that adults should be moody like her father, but in the end they are just children who look like adults. If they fuck around a bit, they complain, miss, and find no excuse for their actions. After all, they have to keep an eye on them all the time, and that seems to be given to her every day hard work. Since my manager's job at the same time helps with the repair of the village from the recent typhoon didn't so recently was involved in the management of one bar. Since she is helping because I asked for it, for if this try many things someday will be useful in the future when she joins the guild. To which the hero remarked that I dream of becoming a guild master. Isn't that bad, really? To which Elsa only says that she wants to become an adventurer. But after all, besides ball skills, she is useless, so the girl realized that she has to manage everything else. Elsa immediately resented, said she can do other things besides swinging her sword. But the girl only smiled wryly with a little chuckle at such an answer, for then she knows how to keep a record of household expenses. Does she know how much money she has to live on each month? For what is decay? And how much money she has left for the next month? For even she can do that since she had 5, now 7. For besides, as a plus, she also wants to support adventurers like her father, so she must be a guildmaster perfect for her. Although the hero realized that she thought she could achieve this, because after all, she is his precious daughter Anna. But the girl immediately asked her father and Elsa if they were going home, to which the hero replied that yes, they were having a birthday dinner for Elsa, because he was also thinking of making apple pie for dessert. The girl immediately lighted up in her eyes, saw happiness, as soon as she listened about the apple pie, asking if he really wants to make it for dinner. The hero immediately answered that, obviously because he will make this pie with his own 2 hands. The girl immediately said that it is better, and she wants to go home with them. And it won't cause a problem with her work, interrogated our hero. I know the girl immediately said it's okay and she can leave, since there's no job more important than daddy's apple pie. But the girl immediately yelled out that it wasn't fair and Anna was cheating. The hero in response only told the girl to join them. But still the hero realizes that they are not ready to hear the truth, as they are just defenseless 10-year-old girls, and it was too early for the truth. But passing by one of the shops, the boy who was selling fish immediately noticed our hero and called out to him, showing him the fish and saying that it was perfect and he could take it. Since Anna had helped them adjust their expenses the other day, and it was a token of appreciation in honor of her having helped them. For since Anna began to help in various places, the economy of the village had improved dramatically, and all the villagers found life much easier. The guy also said that this was only part of his gratitude, to which the heroes only thanked the guy for the nice fish, but the guy only said that it was for him. Thank you very much for his help. After all, it was really great to realize that a 10-year-old girl could have such a big influence in her surroundings, since everyone was referring to her as the future guild master. And the guild master was the one who led everyone from the top. And already back home, I returned with the girls with small gifts to thank Anna for helping many who traded in the village. But the girl also remarked that they had gotten a lot of food before they knew it. Also, Anna didn't think there would be so much food. Looked at him at our heroes, for she was going to review their menu again this week, but thought there would be a lot of food on their plates. Meanwhile, one of the girls was also lying in her bed and sleeping soundly, while the hero and the girls were already approaching the house, but suddenly they saw the shoes, realizing the hero could not be. As soon as the hero opened the door, he could not believe his eyes, thinking that she was not serious as it was already evening. But no one understood how she could be so lazy. The hero approached the girl, called out to her, as Merlin told her it was time to wake up as it was already evening. The girl was fast asleep, but the hero, I was not going to stop there, telling her to get up immediately. And as soon as the girl opened her eyes, she said she understood, but on this condition she would get up in exchange for a kiss on the cheek. Also noting that princesses wake up after receiving a kiss from the prince. Elsa immediately cut the room short and turned to Merle, saying that she was not a princess and that she should please stop bothering their father. The heroes looking at this whole picture realized that Elsa is as straight as ever, unlike him. But the girl also continued to appeal to our hero, saying that he should hurry up and kiss her on the cheek, to which the hero asked if he would do it, and the girl said immediately that she would get up as soon as it happens. The hero, I immediately realized that he had no choice, so he reached out and kissed the girl right on the cheek. But still he wondered how much she would keep her word, and whether she would keep her promise to give what she had after the kiss. But as soon as the girl jumped up, she immediately said he was a very good kisser, to which the hero only, and said thank you, but the girl also wondered why Elsa also and will not ask for a kiss. And initially Elsa was a little silent, feeling awkward. but then immediately shouted that she did not say such ridiculous things as they were given cheek do not need any kisses. Also, the girl said that I don't need to be embarrassed so much because she can just say that she doesn't want to be spoiled, to which Elsa immediately yelled that she is the only one who wants it. But suddenly Marilyn held out her hands to the hero and told him to change her clothes. I go on to say that Elsa says that she really wants badly to be spoiled, the hero, and it is because he is strong, loves her. But then Anna jumped up abruptly and asked Berlin what about school, because doesn't she have class today? Marilyn immediately said with a smile that she had missed them. And they realized right away that she had skipped them, because schooling is not free. Their father pays a lot of money for it. Berlin also thought that it was too boring, because she was already better than her teacher, and she showed her abilities immediately and clearly. The hero also thought it was ice magic because ice is a technological application of water magic, but didn't understand where she learned to use it. Already said that the hero taught her how to use water magic the other day. Even after that, she experimented with it in different ways. As soon as she could imagining different figures, she thought it was cool to interject, didn't she? Talking about why don't they places attend magic classes won't teach to her father while flirting with him. She immediately mouthed that no, since their father can't spend all day watching her since he is busy with his own things, so she should just go to classes like the others. Marilyn also stated that she doesn't want to go to school like that because she really wants to stay home and flirt. But then suddenly Anna grabbed Marilyn's hand sharply, and she immediately yelled out that she was hurt. Anna only asked if she promised to attend classes properly. The girl immediately said that she promises to go to school, and the girl was happy to hear that. She also turned to the hero and told him to worry as she would make sure Marilyn went to school so he should just focus on his work. In fact, now, when Marilyn said she would go to school, Winter should make dinner on the hero also picked up on this. The words are right. But Marilyn curiously asked the hero what's for dinner tonight. The hero said rabbit stew would be Elsa's victory celebration, but Merlin was also curious about dessert. Will there be any? Because of course it would be apple pie, which actually also pleased Merlin, because her eyes lit up as well as the others as soon as she heard about the apple pie. She immediately jumped up joyfully from the bed saying it's always apple pie, apple pie, apple pie. Everyone immediately remarked that Daddy's apple pie was the best in the world, though on the same side, bad kids who skip school don't get dessert. Eagle immediately started crying and they say she will do as she said and be responsible for school, but the only thing she sagged was to please not be left without dessert. And a few days later, the hero was approached by a guy who told him that the shift was over and he would replace him for the day, but the hero wondered if it was already so late. Because as soon as he heard that, of course, he immediately said he was going to take a break. Passing by the fields, I am our hero, I decided to sit down and think for a while. Since the harvest is just around the corner, and at this time of year when the monsters come to their crops, that last demon also went to the crops. And also in the village, there are people who can handle a sword, but they are strong monster. But since he took the role of guardian, he was able to repel all the attacks of the monsters. And of course he tried to help in other ways, not only as guardian. But as soon as his eyes were closed, Hero didn't realize who it was asking or waiting for a clue, and the girl immediately said that the clue is someone who loves him. Hero jokingly mouthed who it could be, but the girl also prompted a chuckle, saying that many people love him. Saying that nevertheless someone loves him the most is difficult since the answers come from such a clue. And they see he is a little shy for that she loves him too. The girl immediately said that she is the most spoiled heroes interrogated, said she about spoiled on the girl, also immediately became interested. What answer awaits her? After all, what is the name of the magical genius who loved father most in the world? And the youngest sister heroes jokingly first thought who it could be, immediately said that perhaps it is Merlin. Marilyn immediately shouted that this is the right answer. Also the hero remarked that she looks happy because it's fun to flirt with Daddy, replied Marilyn. Heroes. I also asked her if she should be at school right now, saying that she had to go to class right now. Did she know that? Since she may have started skipping class again, but Merlin teasingly paid no attention to what our hero was saying. Hero. I immediately got upset, saying that she said she would be responsible for school the other day. Marilyn also continued to banter, saying that he was expected. This is what she said about it. After all, she already got the toad. Will his teacher, he said she sleeps in class and never listens to him. Well, also that during practice, she uses magic not learned from the school program, and she challenged the teacher and defeated him. Merlin immediately said that it was because the teacher kept picking on her that she did it, so she thought that if she showed him who was stronger, he would get off her back, and it was amazing how hard she could do it. So that the hero I praised her on, the hero immediately said he couldn't praise her for it. Although on the other hand, he thought that defeating the teacher, it was very cool. But he also immediately pointed out that the mage's goal was not to hurt people, but to make their lives better. Marilyn asked the hero if he thought she was a genius, since magic is valuable because it helps people. But suddenly one of the men responded by approaching the hero. He immediately asked the hero if he was coming back from work, to which the hero replied that he was coming with work, but he seemed a little busy. But this year will certainly be the biggest harvest she's ever had, and the reason is that demons can't harm the crops. They can't because he's become a guardian. But more importantly, that magic fence was really useful. Merlin immediately asked what kind of magic fence. The hero will be surprised since he didn't think it was the first time she saw it say that this fence is reinforced, and using magic electricity it is accelerated. So if the monster tries to attack the crops and touch them, hit with a large amount of current. The man also remarked that this is true because it is an excellent invention. Thanks to this, they have not been attacked at all since there is no better tail and running away. Since he's just making sure that he's given some of the crops to sow, they are all looking forward to it, as it is obvious that in this world he needs to maintain mutual relations with the other inhabitants. The man also asked that he be sure to eat their vegetables that grew big and strong. But then suddenly the man turned around and said that he should go back to work, hero. I immediately thanked the man for his hard work and said goodbye to him. Watching the man walk away, he asked the girl where they left off. Marilyn said it was all right too, because she thought they understood what Daddy was trying to say. After all, if she uses magic to benefit others, Daddy will praise her, the hero immediately said sure, confirming that Merlin would now work to earn the praise. Merlin was a genius, and this will be the catalyst for her to consider using magic for people, and it is likely that in the future, the world will undergo great development. Meanwhile, back at the house, the girls were already discussing, for they had a week left before the big day. It was time to make a decision. Since they have to get together and decide what they're going to get Daddy for his birthday, but also they should first discuss what they can get Daddy, and this will be a problem since Daddy doesn't usually say what he likes about it. Because it was true, and they don't have a hobby of collecting things, and they didn't know what they should give then. After all, why don't they get any ideas from him or friends? But Anna immediately said she already did and got nothing out of it. But Elsa doesn't understand why I don't understand why they can't just go up to him and ask him directly 8. Although on the same side, she also thought about it, said that she was right to go. She at least went to make a surprise if it is possible on Elsa, as well as pointed out that, why don't they all cook something delicious for him? And she thought hard about it. Nevertheless, she thought it better to give something that would stay with him. For so in the end, the better choice would be to give something like an accessory. She also thought that it was the most reliable choice, but there was a small problem. For their problem forced was that they didn't have enough money, and they also tried to save up, but she in many places. But it was voluntary work, and the girls didn't understand what to do now in this situation. But while they were sitting pondering, suddenly Bugged with our hero said they were home. Girls immediately said with a return to the hero did not understand why they two sit and talk about something because there is quite a lot. Elsa immediately began to hide the coins and say that nothing wrong because Anna and she was just talking about how to save money. Although on the same side of the hero was surprised, but he still did not pay much attention to it. But on the other hand, if they girls need help with anything, I shouldn't be shy and should just ask their daddy. But she immediately said that they are fine. If they need it, they will tell them. And besides, they immediately started to say that on their memory. Some rascal should be at school, but she didn't realize how she got home. Marilyn immediately asked Anna to calm down, saying she had a very good reason to do so. And then heroes, I asked Anna to relax about it this time, saying that he's sure she won't skip school again because hasn't she realized that her confession is magic and those who have the motivation not to skip. She immediately thought about such words, immediately thought that it seems that something happened today because she asks her since Daddy asked her so. But next time if she skips school, she will get a severe punishment. Immediately said that from now on, Genius will do cool things, and all at once, with curiosity, not understanding, looked at the girl and she sharply grabbed her ear. The girl immediately said that she didn't understand why it happened. Wasn't she going to change her mind? She immediately said that she was going to, but the smug look on her face made her mad. And as soon as the hero started walking, Marilyn immediately asked the girls what were the two of them talking about. The girls immediately said that they were talking about what they could get for Daddy's birthday, asking if she had any ideas, to which the girl smilingly said that she did not. Elsa and Anna expected that after all they had settled on an accessory. So they decided to stop at the accessory, and Anna said that she could contact her acquaintance, and they too should think of something else just in case. And just a short time later, she went to an acquaintance to ask if he had anything good. For once long ago, he had a deal with a merchant, and that time this is what he got. They talk about his daughter got married and left, and he's the kind of person who doesn't wear that. So it's just dust since it's been in his drawer for a long time. She immediately said it looks very wonderful. So she also asked how much he would sell this accessory for, and the guy didn't immediately say that she's been a great help to them all along, and he'd love to give it away for nothing. But he wants to ask her for a favor, so she immediately asked, what's the assignment? Asking if she knew there was a harvest festival in 4 days, and he had a sale at the store outside every day. But there's a little problem with the man talking about his leg, since considering that it's a big event, A lot of people are going to come, but he won't be able to provide good service for them, saying this is why. He would like to ask her and her sisters to work on that day. Anna was immediately surprised, not realizing immediately, and the three of them would need to work. To which the boy immediately said yes, and after the feast he would give her the necklace, to which Anna immediately said that they would do it, and the boy only thanked her, as he would prepare everything in advance, and then they would meet at noon in 4 days. And already 4 days later the girls were going to the merchant to work, to which Marina also said if they were going to work on the holiday since they had already gotten candy, but Anna also said that it was all for their father's sake, so just to be patient today, and also she should become an adult and leave such a weakness as candy. Merlin immediately said that she is a weak and cute child who wants to eat a lot of candy, not going to listen about she should stop being an adult. But she realizes that it is useless as the girl will love sweets the very death, but Elsa she only provoked with her behavior. And already approaching the shop, the guy noticed the girls and said that everything was already prepared. Suddenly one of the girls who was standing near the shopkeeper turned around and called out Anna's name. I told her I was very happy to meet her. The girls also said good day. She understood that someone was already helping him. The guy only told her that there was a reason why he asked them for help after all. He didn't want anyone to help, but the girls didn't understand it. But the guy immediately said that they are all beauties. If they stand in front of the store, they will definitely attract visitors. But his daughter would not agree to such a thing. To which the girl immediately slapped the sick guy's leg and apologized for her father's selfish request, to which Anna immediately said it was okay, because it would be a useful experience for them. But as the girl realized that it might indeed be an experience for them, she immediately invited to follow her to the store, because there was something there that she would really like them to wear. And in a moment, the girls were transformed into their new appearance as soon as they had changed into their new clothes. The girl looked at the heroine and said that it was nice because she had worn the outfits they were wearing on the previous holidays, and they looked good on them, which the boy also noticed that they really looked good on them. But the ceremony is coming to an end and he's opening the store for the start of the party. Meanwhile, in the crowd passed our hero, who thought that there were a great many people in the city this year. And to him it was interesting, since it was probably because of the biggest harvest they had, as he realized that this place was already too crowded. And to him it was interesting what kind of store I was in, which we were crowded, but suddenly he heard a voice greeting the people. It was girls who only kept saying that they have in stock holiday dolls in a limited series, and these dolls are already sure to make their crop eye abundant. But as soon as the heroes of the girls' video, he didn't understand why suddenly these three started working as salesmen. But the girls immediately noticed about their father coming up. Elsa immediately greeted and said welcome to her father. But she was immediately surprised to see her father because she thought he was in charge of the residents' safety this year. I said that's right. But more importantly, why are they working as salesmen? And as soon as Elsa was about to say why, Anna immediately shut her mouth so she wouldn't inadvertently say too much in advance. Said it was nothing like that because they just wanted to know what it was like to be a salesman. To which the heroes I only humbly said that okay, and then suddenly the guy greeted me. Hero asked for forgiveness because he was a little busy with his daughters. Heroes immediately cheered for hard work, say he is. His daughters did not bother him too much. And the guy immediately said not to be so funny because his daughter helped him. But to be honest, he's still worried about the sales and they helped him a lot with that. The hero also said that he sees it and he is very happy to hear it. And also the girl pointed at the heroine, said how he likes their outfits because in her opinion they look very nice. The girls immediately asked their father what he thought about their outfits. And the hero immediately said that he thought it suited them, as they all looked very nice. Marilyn and Anya were a little embarrassed, but Elsa was overjoyed because she was very happy about it. The boy immediately turned to the girls and said that since the crowd had already dispersed, why didn't the four of them enjoy the party? Elsa immediately got even more excited as she was very hydrated after a long day of work. But she immediately asked if she hadn't picked up something from a nearby store, because isn't it wonderful that they have so many customers thanks to Marilyn getting everyone's attention? Herath had already said that considering how hard they were all working, he would buy them anything today, but she immediately asked him didn't he have to go back to work. Herath said it's okay because he just decided to take a stroll around the festival and check on how things are going while patrolling the place at the same time. So the hero, I immediately turned to the guy and said that he apologizes for leaving him, but they have to go to the party, to which the guy also thanked for the visit, and the girl said to have fun there. Immediately wrapped her arm around the hero's arm, said it would be a date, but the others stared at her intently, said for her to stop since a date with daddy sounds disgusting, but still she doesn't care about such small things. They immediately started snooping around among each other, saying what about what others might think, since daddy will get in trouble if people think wrong. Heroes only watched the girls fighting among each other and arguing, realizing that the three girls had been little sometime before and now were so grown up. And now he could run shopping for them on his own with them. And in 4 years' time, when they turned 14, They will go to the capital and follow their desired path. Also, he realized perfectly well that even without his help, he realized perfectly well that these three would be perfectly fine without him. And after a while, the hero was on his way home. And when he entered the house, he was surprised. Since he didn't realize perhaps no one was there, he asked loudly, "Is there anyone home?" Thinking that perhaps no one should be home today because they had business to attend to, but not realizing where they had gone. And then suddenly the girls jumped out shouting, "Happy birthday, Daddy." The hero would be so very much surprised and shocked initially that he immediately could not say anything. He only looked at the whole picture. The girls immediately began to say that instead of just thanking him as always, they decided to throw a party for him also. They prepared a present, talking about how the three of them worked hard to get it and immediately got it on our hero's hand. At the sight of this, the hero immediately cried, but Elsa the same freaked out, asking if he was okay or everything. The hero immediately said he was fine, but thought he was too old not to cry. The hero immediately said he also thought he was thankful to find they were very nice to him, asking if he could wear this now. She too said of course he could do it, and Marilyn raised in his hand said she could help him do it. Hero pondered, for he thought that in 4 years he would have no trouble saying goodbye to them, but also realized that he will miss them very much. But still he can't leave the village as he has to protect it at all costs. But also that there is less he can do now, is to give him as much love and care as he can until they leave for the capital. But after 4 years, the monsters were also still trying to attack the village. But still the hero realized that he was quite survivable, and it was a shame. But then he spoke out that he had chosen the wrong opponent, and a girl appeared in front of the hero. It was Elsa, standing with a sword that killed in one blow monster with great ease. The hero was also surprised that she with one punch, as I expected from Elsa because she became stronger. Elisa immediately said thanks for the praise because it was all thanks to his training. Since 4 years ago, she was so scared that she couldn't even move, but still she couldn't afford to stand still when there are people like her to protect. For even if she did grow up, she should make sure that she never forgets how she felt back then at that moment. For it had been 4 years since then, and she understood everything perfectly well. Such daughters will fulfill 14 years. Orpher still decided to follow the path of the ball, using his techniques and creating her own. Also, she helped the village as a terrible husband on fighting the monsters that attacked them. But going home, my hero immediately asked Elsa because he heard she won the fencing tournament again, and the girl kindly said that she did. For this is the 4th time in a row she has finally been banned from tournaments. On what heroes also realized that apparently as her father such daughters, because all the girl was also glad that she has the same reason for the ban as he. After all, he is probably the only one in the world who is happy about this, since she is happy to share the same ban with her father. The hero was pleasantly surprised and happy to hear this. And yet as soon as they got home, the girls immediately greeted them. Welcome home, since they had done a good job. Dinner had already been served, because Blynn also said she had helped with it. But she immediately asked Marilyn to correct her if she was wrong. She seemed to have just brought the food and told her not to forget to ask for details. And because Anna now shows even more of her management skills in negotiating, thanks to her the financial situation of the village is going so well that the villagers have decided to name the holidays in her honor Anna's Thanksgiving. Marilyn is still the same spoiled child who skips classes, but she has decided to use magic for the good of the people. They are selfish goals. Marilyn also turned to our hero, saying that she found hot springs today using earth magic, and thanks to her, the village now has a hot spring because she wanted him to praise her. Anna realized that if the village had a hot spring, more people would flock here. But the more people, the more monsters, and the heroes had to be careful. The hero immediately said that there is no reason to worry about this. Even in his 30s, his body is not failing yet, and it seems that he will stop stronger. But still, they knew very well that they should start dinner as they were hungry, for he couldn't wait to taste his delicious dishes. Although she realized that it was just an imitation of his cooking, she was more motivated tonight. And the hero's eye and my thoughts realized that tomorrow was the day for their daughters to go to the capital. And sitting at the table, he realized that they got the right job at 14. For Elsa had decided to become an adventurer, like he had been long ago when he couldn't handle a dragon of rank C. Anna is pursuing the guildmaster path since she is best at it. And as for Marilee, she will follow the path of magic, which is what she has been studying and doing all this time. Though at the same time, Marilena was asking herself, can she just be a freeloader? The hero also decided to ask again, have they all prepared for tomorrow? But she immediately said that no, it's like moving out of the house and a lot of things they still need to pack. She also said, since they're not ready yet, why shouldn't he be the first to take a bath until they're done? The hero thought for a while and accepted such an offer, because then he will, but they should make sure they don't forget anything. The girls only looked at the hero with sparkling eyes. Meanwhile, the hero was already lying in a hot bath and thinking about life. He was still thinking that at the end he couldn't even now say that he wasn't their real father. Since he had lost count of how many times he had tried to say in these past 4 years but couldn't say it, It was all because of what she had done that their real parents had died. Also, he couldn't stop thinking about who their parents were every time he thought about it. But then suddenly the door opened. Hiro. I took the blindfold off his voice, was surprised at what he saw in front of him. On the Hiro, I did not realize at once what they girls were doing here, as they said they were preparing for tomorrow. And Elsa immediately said it was because he was the only one who taught her fencing, and she wanted to repay him for it. The Hiro also said that since that was the case, they could join them, but on one condition, if he would wash their backs in return. Already asked the Hiro that they should not turn on any condition, on which the same said that he knew it. So she wouldn't embarrass him too much, although her body was starting to get cold. Then why don't the three of them get together, suggested the girl. And they all rubbed our heroes back together, which made him happier than ever. Elsa immediately turned to Muravlenko and told her to stop washing his front, but she thought it was all right, although Elsa realized that it was stupid and she should stop showing him her body. I'm not already all lying down and taking a bath together, but then one of the girls turned around and looked at our hero and turned to him, as she was interested in the question whether he was sure that he could not go with them, to what the hero immediately answered that he was sure. After all, he has to stay as a guard in the village and do the work he is asked to do. Besides, someone has to stay here and take care of the house. But the girl immediately said that without him, she would feel very lonely if he stayed by himself in the village. But the other girl asked not to be selfish, for besides, if he stayed here, she could end up becoming a complete freeloader, going to the capital and facing a harsh society. Told him not to worry, for she would make sure Marilyn didn't cause trouble and wouldn't forget to send him letters every month letting him know how they were faring. Heroes immediately realized, for he could relax, know they would be there with Anna and she would not care. And tomorrow they'll spread their wings and fly to their goals in the capital. For the next morning there was a wagon waiting to pick them up as they set out. When the hero, I looked at the three girls, literally said nothing. But immediately he said goodbye to the girls and told them to take care of themselves. Will also remarked that she would definitely become an adventurer, and as his unwell, also Anna asked that he take care of himself too. And Merlin said she would come home every week to be a spoiled girl by his side. They had already boarded the wagon only to say goodbye, and Hiro wished them a good journey. And by Vasco immediately began to respond to what Hiro actually watched them leave for the last time. But suddenly the hero came up to the man and asked him if he felt a heavy weight fall from his shoulders. But the hero thinks for a moment and realizes that he doesn't know what it feels like yet. The man even remarks that it's been a good job these past 14 years, because 14 years have gone by so fast and so quickly. But the man also remarks that he must be old to say that. Meanwhile, while the girls were on their way to the capital, Elsa held her sword in her hands, realized it was a nuisance. Although, except for Berlin, who would return once a week, she thought she would be very depressed, but still she was fine. Since the father trusted and allowed him to follow the dream, so no need to be depressed, and it was the eldest daughter, Elsa. Also, the second daughter, Anna, confirmed Elsa's words, said she was right. And of course, the third daughter, Marlena, just goofed around not paying attention to the words the higher-up said. In that case, the daughters have taken the path separate from their daddy. But after 4 years, this is the story of the parents of the child's foundation begins anew. As a new road was built, and the village's trade routes became great, a man asked if he too thought so of his traveling companion. It was the hero who said he thought so too. But the man asked the hero why he was going to the capital if it was not a secret, to which the hero replied that his daughter lived there and he came to see her. The man was kind enough to say that since her father was so handsome, she should be handsome herself. It's been 4 years since he sent them to the capital, and now he's going there himself. Since exactly a month ago the hero was moonlighting, as before finishing his job, the man said he did a great job. But immediately he held out the letter, said that he had received a letter from the girl hero helped, and immediately began to open the letter. After all, it may be an ordinary letter or something happened to them heroes. I said he would not answer, they are still doing well, because even that makes it easier for him. But also they were still wondering if they are asking him to live with him in the capital. Hero confirmed that they have been asking for months. To the man, I think it's fine after all, and we should just go to the capital and live with them. The hero was surprised at this. After all, the man thought that it was time for him to live with his daughters again. At least they would be delighted with it. But the heroes also wondered what would happen about the village. After all this time he has been training the children, so they have enough guards. Also, the fields are safe, thanks to the electric fence, and he can leave the house to it. But the man also turned to the hero and interrogated if it is true that he really wants to go to the capital. But the man also said that he could because of the commitment in the village, for he is straightforwardly a holy man. Since his life is his, and he can do whatever he wants with it, the hero, as soon as he heard these words, he immediately thought about it. Lowering his head, the only thing the hero said was thank you very much, since he really appreciated it. Decide that he would then go to the capital again, which he actually did a month later sitting in the wagon. But then suddenly the man who was traveling with our hero saw the guys. I don't understand who they are. He immediately videoed the emblem of the Kingdom of the Knights of Odin, who immediately asked who was in the cart and for them to stop for a moment. Approaching the wagon, one of the men apologized for stopping them, but they were informed that a certain I-man would be traveling to the capital on this road, so he would like to see his pass. The man immediately realized what the idea was, but the heroes only thought that the Knight of the Kingdom had forgotten here because most likely they are looking for him. Maybe it's because of that incident from 18 years ago that caused his reputation to deteriorate, but that doesn't mean they're going to arrest him. As soon as the man asked about the adventure with, and asked for the name of the hero, immediately introduced himself, to which the man reacted sharply, apparently negatively. He immediately ordered everyone to listen to him attentively, and all the other knights immediately began to listen to the commander's orders. I didn't understand reaching with my hand for my sword. He was only thinking what he was going to do, but suddenly he video as everyone lined up. They immediately greeted our hero with joy, saying they were all waiting for him. The hero was so much surprised and didn't understand what was going on that apparently he didn't expect such a reaction from these knights. I realized that they are not here to arrest him, but suddenly he listened to the voice that his father shouted. It was Elsa who greeted our hero, saying how many years old is how many winters. Surprised to see Elsa, who immediately began to run into his arms to him, which actually he says with his hands, and waited. For she was very glad to see him and also missed them very much. Heroes I also missed a lot, and starts today they can see each other whenever they want. In addition, he her letter and she became commander. Meanwhile, the knights watched the reunion of the daughter with her father, realizing that she was even crying a little. Eliza immediately said that she became a rank C adventurer, and also a commander of the Royal Wagenstein Knight Order in the 15th generation. The hero. This really impressed her because she had worked tirelessly to make her dream a reality. The hero immediately thanked for the warm welcome, but why here? I'm not far from the capital. The girl immediately said that in fact the guild asked them to install the wyvern, and after the victory they knew he was coming, so they decided to meet him here. Just then one of the commanders turned to the hero, saying that he understands that they have not seen each other for a long time, but they need to hurry to the capital, and that the actual hero. I said that he was right, thanking the man who drove him for his help. And also the man received a reward, thanking the hero for his company because he seems to be quite an impressive man. Meanwhile, they all got in the wagon and headed towards the capital, for they were told that Elsa's commander had never once been able to hit him with a sword. Is this true, hero? I laughed a little and said that it was true because they fought thousands of times, but she had never been able to hit him. She is the youngest. The commander of the knights could not hit him, for it is fencing, which is excellent. The most fencing even when they met him. He was focused and ready for battle. He is a real man. Elsa also commented that even after she was upset with her father, she continued to train. Even though she got the status of master swordsman, she didn't think she could beat her father. That's how impressive a man he is, the hero smiled. Said that it's a big part from above such from the knight commander. After all, it is true that he never once called him a blow even when she was 14, but now it is a different situation. Maybe now she can easily call a blow to him. Meanwhile, they had already reached the capital. It had been quite a while since he had last been here, since everything had changed in these 18 years, but he was also wondering where Anna and Marlene were. Elizabeth had already told him that Anna was busy with guild work, and Merlin was supposed to meet him with her. But it was already late, hero. I also asked if she was not here, she might be asleep. Studier Marilyn in the academy, and Alice also said it's a sure as hell study with a scholarship. And also she lives in a dormitory, free food, and a bed. It was a better environment for her, laughing about it. But the girl also wondered heroes I'm going to do, and he immediately answered that about that. Dima first needs to find a job, but he needs a roof over his head, and for now he becomes in the hotel and deal with the tasks tomorrow. But then the girl turned to the hero, said what about it? For when the news that he is coming to the capital, she seems to have already decided to leave the dormitory. The hero immediately interrogated whether seriously, because thinking that quickly so what then? He should find a house as soon as possible. After all, if Marilyn lives with him in a hotel, it will be a problem. But they don't have much time yet, didn't understand what to do. The girl also said that in that case, she would take care of it. Hero. I immediately asked the girl if she had any idea, to which she immediately replied that it is true that renting houses is very expensive, but he should worry about money. After all, she is the commander of the knights of this kingdom. With connections and reputation, he will be given a free hero's house for free. I thought this is excellent news. But after a little thought, he immediately said so she can. To find out what kinds, and the girl also said they could look now because it seems they have a choice between the neighborhood and the living neighborhood. The girl immediately said with enthusiasm that they should go there as soon as possible, for the hero immediately thought that she seemed to have caught on to the idea. They immediately went to the first house that was in the area of the living neighborhood. There is also a 3-story, 4-story house. So in addition, there is an air conditioner that works through magic heroes, I found it quite amazing that everything is modern. And also the second and third floor, the girl noticed that it can be used as a room for them. It's enough to not make any of them uncomfortable. And also the girl turned to the heroes and said that they have to check out the houses in the aristocratic neighborhood, to which the hero I said that she is right, and they can go there. And after a while, the heroes together with the girl went to the neighborhood for aristocrats. The hero began to think a little because if you think about it, he had never been in the Reichstatic district before. And thinking about the fact that there are guards here, the girl also said that yes, if something happens, the knights will run and take care of it. But then suddenly they were already approaching the house they were supposed to be watching. The heroes were surprised at such a fancy house. Despite all these furnishings, he's certainly not sure if he thinks everything here is too luxurious. But the girl also said that in the end they had 2 houses in mind that they could get to quickly. But he should have thought about it because he didn't know whether to choose the familiar living neighborhood or the sophisticated lifestyle. He didn't know what to do in this situation. But then suddenly he heard voices, where the girl was addressing the child saying that he was a heartburn neighborhood. How dare he sneak into an aristocratic neighborhood? The boy standing in front of the girl, I immediately apologized. And the girls, meanwhile, began to say that he was trying to break in. How dare he, since he must have been going to take something from them. As a poor peasant, the boy immediately shouted that it was not true since his dog had run into the neighborhood and he was just looking for him. As soon as the dog immediately began to bark, the boy saw it and immediately ran to it. The girl was apparently not happy to see the dog. The boy didn't understand why she was doing that, taking pictures of her dog, why she was so aggressive. To what the girl immediately said that cannot this dirty creature to approach her, for they are so physical neighborhood, here is no place for peasants. She immediately called the knights immediately to come and get rid of this simple peasant. The knights immediately began to lead the boy away from the aristocratic neighborhood, but then suddenly the girl saw the hero with Elsa. Said that isn't that the Knights Commander Elsa, can she wonder what she is doing here? To which Elsa immediately said that they are looking for a new home, she and her father are considering this option. The girl immediately realized that her father was a handsome hero, and also said that it was nice to meet Milady. After all, and not just finished looking at houses in 2 neighborhoods, I do not plan to settle in one of them. The girl also said that the election is obvious aristocratic neighborhood. It is said that people like Elsa and her kind should not be on a par with the peasants. And also they will be neighbors if he settles in this district. But the hero immediately said on that actually he plans to live in a residential district. And the girl from that was very much shocked. I don't understand how. Since the hero, just the thought of living with her in the same neighborhood makes him immensely disgusted because it would be a shame for him to live here. They say that he should remember one thing. You can't buy decency with money, because now if she allows it, they will leave this neighborhood as soon as possible. The hero ends up saying all this without asking her if she wants to live, but Elsa immediately tells him not to worry about it, because she felt the same way as he did, and she's glad he said it after all. In the meantime, they came to the place where the Marlena was giving demonstrations for the humans. Everyone immediately started shouting that great job Merlin was doing, and it was amazing, they thought. But the girl said she wasn't done with that yet. And as soon as the hero and Elsa came up, they didn't realize what it was worth. As they got closer, they saw that they all looked extremely excited about something. But then the hero saw that it was Marilyn who was saying that her last trick was to show them something very incredible. And showing their final trick, everyone was delighted with this show. Everyone immediately began to shout that it was amazingly beautiful and marvelous, and they were glad they had come to such a performance. Elsa immediately took hold of her face and lowered it, thinking that perhaps she was mocking her. Meanwhile, Elsa realized that on getting a lot of pocket money, Elsa immediately turned to Prilinaya saying that she was finally awake.